Hello, welcome back. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We are back with another, you guessed it, tubing mascara video. And this time we're going to be doing some high-end tubing mascaras that I have found that I've been trying out and wanted to show you guys. So without much rambling, I'm just going to jump in, but before I do so, please do like and subscribe. It does help me. Obviously, we just hit 1,000 the other day. And I did a happy dance. This was me dancing. And now, as a gift from me to you, let's jump into the video. So, I was actually looking at my collection, and not only have I not spoken about these, but these are 3 of the only really like high-end mascaras that I have, and they all happen to be tubing. I put quotations there because one of them is not really, and it markets itself as tubing, and I have not found it to be so that's why I say that. Let me just tell you what we're working with here. We are working with these 3 mascaras. We have the Hourglass Unlocked mascara, we have the Kevyn Aucoin, the Volume mascara, and then we have Eyeko Black Magic. So I'm just going to jump in. These are in no particular order. I'm going to show you what they look like applied and talk through some of the things that I found with them, and hopefully that is helpful for you. Number 1, this beauty. This is the Hourglass Unlocked, and this is their tubing version. Now, on first glance, it looks very similar to, yeah, you guessed it, the Thrive. Let me just show you. Look at that. These are almost identical. If you did not see the base, you would think that they were the same thing. The Thrive one I have in like the dark, or like the brown black, but other than that, they are pretty much the same. I would say that the Thrive one is just a little bit longer. They both have that kind of rubbery one. And in terms of flexibility, let's see. You don't really have any flexibility with the Thrive, but you do have quite a bit more with the Hourglass. So the Hourglass one does retail for $29, whereas the Thrive retails for $24. This one also only comes in black, whereas this one comes in black and black brown. Okay. So this is what it looks like on. It looks very similar to, yes, you guessed it, the Thrive. So I'm going to be applying the Thrive now on this side, which is going to be interesting. And then we will see what they look like in comparison. Okay, so can you tell which is which had I not told you? I think I can see a slight difference. This one, which is the Hourglass, is definitely defined. It just doesn't have quite the amount of volume as the Thrive. But that is like splitting hairs, and only because we're looking for it and because I use them and talk about tubing mascaras all the time. If I just went out today and somebody at the grocery store was like, oh, your lashes look so nice, I don't think they'd be like, but only the one on the left or only the one on the right. I don't think they would be able to tell that I had 2 different mascaras on. So people throw around like the word dupe. Neither of these are dupe for the other because they're basically like $5 price difference, but they're both high-end mascaras. $29, that's a lot for mascara. So they are not a dupe. They're like twins. I would call them like fraternal twins, not identical twins. They're very, very similar. Now, if I can tell you one thing about this that I do like is that I have not had any smudging with it whatsoever. And as I said in one of my other videos, even with the Thrive lately, because I've been wearing a mask and the moisture is just kind of building up, I was getting a little bit of smudging on my eyelid from the Thrive. With this Hourglass, I've not seen any smudging. I've not seen any flaking. Of course, you don't really find that with tubing mascaras as much, but I would say that if you're somebody that is an issue, this one is going to be probably one of the best options for you in that regard. Otherwise, I just like to think of it as like having a Thrive backup for me right now. They're kind of the same. I'm not going to go on and on for hours and give you all these other things because they are so similar that it's not worth me wasting your or my time. All right, so next up, I'm going to leave the Thrive on because this is kind of like our baseline. This is what we talk about as being one of the holy grails up there. Now, I know I have holy grail drugstore ones as well, but for the time being, since this is a high-end one, I'm going to leave that on, and then I'm going to take this side off and put on our next one. Next up, we have the Kevyn Aucoin, the Volume Mascara. Now, this one retails for $28, so $1 less than the Hourglass. And it's a very, very, well, it's very thin comparatively with like Thrive. This one is much fatter, this one is skinny, and that's actually kind of like the wand itself. So let me show you. So this is the wand. As you can tell with the wand, it's all one width. It's very thin. It's almost the same width as the wand itself, like the bristle part, and that plays a part in how it looks when it's applied. So let's go ahead and apply it. Okay, that's what it looks like. And I think it looks pretty brilliant and beautiful, but I have to tell you guys, this one took some getting used to. Because it has such a thin, kind of like narrow wand, as opposed to kind of maybe a more bristly one or a fatter one, sometimes I feel like when you're using it, it can go on so lightly that it doesn't really give you the volume or the definition that you may want. The size of it is actually, to me, it's a benefit because it allows you to get right at the base of your lashes, and then you can kind of like pull them up from there. I think if you're looking at these two side by side, we have our Thrive on this side, and then this is the Kevyn Aucoin. I do find that this looks really good because you can build up that lash line, and that is all because the very thin bristle and wand. So my biggest tip for you, if you are using it, if you have it and you don't love it, been there, done that, didn't like it either, keep using it though. It really is one of those things where you got to play with it and figure out a way that it works. It sounds so ridiculous because you're like, it's mascara, you just put it on. But it's not always the case. You have to find ways to use it and ways that pull out like the best of each one. I also find that I don't get as much smudging kind of on my lid, which is, I always get it even just when I'm doing my mascara. Oh, also, sorry, I should have done my nails, so I apologize. But I don't get any smudging while I'm applying it because this wand is so tiny and small, and that is very helpful for me because I get it all over my lids usually. This, while not a dupe again because they're pretty much the same price, this is almost identical to the Trish McAvoy. They have two different kinds. I forget which is which, but that was like my intro to tubing mascaras, and I used it for years and years and years. And I'm pretty sure it's about 30 bucks. So this is the same, if not $2 cheaper. And for my final trick, I will be using the Eyeko Black Magic. I've seen these forever. I like the packaging. I will just start out by saying, because it's one of these like squeezable plastic tubes, which no other mascaras really do that. But somehow for me, I feel like maybe you can get in the crevices and get like the last bit of mascara. I don't know if that's true, but that's just what it is. This retails for $24. I got it on Ulta. I believe it's based out of the UK, but you should be able to get it pretty easily as well. And I'm just going to show you what the wand looks like because it is quite different than any other wand that we have. There is a bit of a curve to the wand, and it's more like your typical wand. So it's more like a bristle one than a rubber kind. And let's go ahead and apply it. Okay, so this is what they look like. And I think that this one definitely gives you the volume. If you're preferring ones with more volume, it's going to give you that. And I think that just has to do with the type of brush. I found that the rubber brushes give you more definition. The only one that gives you both is really the Thrive one. But this, since it's more of a traditional wand, you're going to get that definition and really like, I don't want to say clumpy lashes, but they are fuller. The thing that I do not like about this, and it's mainly because I don't love that kind of wand, and that's just a personal preference. If you love them, just keep using them. But I don't love that wand because I get kind of like that like line. It's basically like eyeliner right on my lid. It's not super visible, and I don't think the camera's gonna catch it, but sometimes it's worse, and I just don't love that. Especially if I have eyeshadow on, it's like, ugh. Now this mascara is great. I think it's really nice. I just don't love it because I don't feel that it's actually tubing, and I'm going to show you when I take it off and you can be the judge. They do have a lot of different kinds, so maybe the one that I got, Black Magic, is just not the best. So if you do know, let me know because I'm curious about it. It's the same price as Thrive, so I already know that Thrive works. Why would I want to spend $24 on something that isn't really tubing mascara and also doesn't really give me the look that I love? So that's kind of where I am with this one. I've wanted to try it for a long time, not in love with it, don't really recommend it. And now we're gonna take it off. Again, just taking everything off today, except for my clothes. It's not a terrible removal. I don't really use this makeup eraser all the time for my eyes. Sometimes I just go in with warm water, and I find that when I do that, it doesn't come off as well. If I just use water and kind of do the normal method, you kind of see like that black residue on my hand. But again, I've had much worse raccoon eyes. This is not the worst removal. I think that you have plenty of other options out there, and if you're gonna spend this amount, just get the Thrive. Like, there's no comparison. So that is it. Short and sweet, keeps it complete. I don't know what that says, but I just said it. A fun game we're gonna play is, which mascara did I just put on to complete my look? Leave a comment below and tell me what you think. It was one of those three. I didn't bring out just a random one. Was it the Hourglass, was it the Kevyn Aucoin, or was it the Eyeko? I don't know. Actually, I do know. So the last thing I wanted to say is, I know sometimes it's actually easier for people to get one of these high-end ones, and if I'm going to have to recommend one of these three, because maybe these are the only three you can get, I would definitely go with this one. It's really similar to the Thrive, if that's your jam. This one is a very close second. I love this one, actually. I hated it. Like, hated it. And now I love it. So it grew on me a lot. This one is definitely in last place, and I probably will not be reaching for it at all. But one of these two, and it just kind of depends. Like I said, a bit more of a learning curve with this one. This one is like Thrive's twin. And the last thing I wanted to mention is, I know a lot of times people say, like, can you build it up? Yes, with tubing mascaras, for the most part, you can build them up. But what I do is I definitely go in immediately after for my second coat. And you saw when I was applying it, there's no stopping. It's not like, oh, I've covered it, now let it dry and then stop and go back. It's more like coat, 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 continuous coating, and then you can build it up as much as you want. If you let it dry, go onto your other eye, then come back, it really makes it clumpy and just like not attractive. I also can't stand the feel of it, which is weird. So that is it. Thank you again for watching. Let me know if you have any you want to watch. I've got a really fun idea out there, but I might have to wait until I get my tax refund because it's going to be expensive. So if you did like this though, please make sure you like and subscribe. I really appreciate it and it helps me in the future. So thank you again, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.